Hi everybody, it's Kirsten here from Full Potential Coaching, and I hope you're having a wonderful Friday night. I am. I'm at home putting together some of the content for a new class I'm going to be teaching, and there's just like really almost nothing I love in the world more than spending my time doing this. I'm totally geeking out on this content. I'm so excited for this class. So I decided that I just want to come on and talk to you guys about it and tell you what's happening. As of today, the class is officially halfway full, 5 women in the class. So this class is called Learn to Thrive In-Person Intensive. So last year I offered an online Learn to Thrive free class that was sort of like a really, it was sort of like a like a guided book club, like a guided book club with pretty rigorous discussion. And this year, I'm offering a different iteration of Learn to Thrive. It's an in-person 9-week intensive. We will be meeting one time a week, every Thursday night for an hour and a half for 9 weeks, starting at the end of September. And this class is something I have been thinking about and mulling over for several months. And I just feel like I'm bringing together all of my best content and my best energy and my best gifts and skills to this experience. So let me tell you what it's about. So it's called Learn to Thrive. So Learn to Thrive is this great double entendre where on the one, Learn to Thrive is Learn to Thrive is basically my life's motto, and basically my sort of daily mantra. It's this sort of compass by which I live my life, and by which I teach my students and coach my clients and raise my kids and raise my kids. And Learn to Thrive has two meanings. On the one hand, it points to my belief, my deep conviction that as human beings, in order to flourish, in order to thrive, we must be consciously engaging our innate love of learning as Homo sapiens. At any age, whether we're an infant or a very elderly human being, we all have an innate love of learning and discovery. Our curiosities are one of our greatest assets, if at times, maybe one of our great liabilities. But that tension, that dynamic between liability and asset at the heart of our curiosity is part of what makes life so fun to live, navigating that together. So thriving necessitates learning, conscious, intentional, deliberate learning, approaching every situation in life as an opportunity. Every situation, even the ones that really, really hurt and bring us to our knees. Okay? And we don't just know how to thrive. We aren't born knowing how to thrive. And in fact, I think one of our missions as human beings is to come together in order to learn how to thrive, because we can't learn to thrive in isolation. We are interdependent creatures. No organism in any habitat lives in isolation and thrives. Isolation in any ecology equals death, equals stagnation, equals end. When we come together with a shared devotion to learning, we learn how to thrive together. And that is the crux of this course. Learning in order to thrive, learning how to thrive. So, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to learn about in these 9 weeks together? A whole bunch of things. And I actually made a little list here, my cheat sheet. So as I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing, because I really want to cover these basics with you guys tonight. So first, I'm going to teach you how to locate. And these are the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? Okay, 9. These are the nine principles of thriving. What I think are the 9 principles of thriving. 1, locating and trusting your fundamental goodness. Your fundamental goodness. So many of us labor under old stories of being broken, of being flawed, of there being something actually really wrong with us. But each of us is inherently good. Each of us is inherently good. But most of us have forgotten that or never knew it to begin with. Thriving must begin with an anchoring into that place. And that often takes a whole lot of work. And that's often easier said than done. So that's the number 1. That's the first thing we talk about. That's the first lesson. Number 2, how to connect with your body. Women in particular are often so disconnected from their bodies that we have learned to loathe, to criticize, to judge, to hold to ridiculous standards. Very few of us feel truly at home in our bodies. And when we feel detached from our bodies in that way, it's super hard to connect in a daily, regular way with the body's incredible wisdom, with what we call intuition, right? That felt sense that is always a guide home. So that's the second principle, the second tool I'll be teaching you, how actual, practical, concrete steps for reacquainting yourself with your body just as it is. Loving your body, as insane as that might sound to you, just as you are. How might you learn to love the sensation of being embodied, even in pain, even when things hurt, right? That is so critical. Number 3, so many of us, we all carry around thoughts that we keep on thinking so many times that they just become beliefs. And these beliefs that are generally unquestioned and entrenched and usually inherited limit us. They get in the way of our dreams, of our ambitions, of our greatest potential, and yet we don't know it. We think something's wrong with us. We think we just don't have what it takes to follow through. We think we just don't deserve to follow through, whatever it may be. But one of the most important things I teach is how to root out and identify those limiting beliefs, name them for what they are, acknowledge what they give us, because if we're still practicing them, they give us something, right? What is that? And what's the cost, right? And how do we let them go? How do we revise them? And how do we learn to do this habitually, regularly, not just with a coach, right? Number 4, how to recognize fear and discern when to trust it, because we need to sometimes be afraid, but lots of times we don't. Or rather, lots of times our fear is leading us right where we need to go. So how do we know when that's the case and when to say, okay, I'm holding on and I'm just going to walk right through you, right? How do we know when it's important to do that? And how do we know when that fear, which registers as danger, is like, no, not today, not this season, not for me, right? Discerning that difference between danger and fear is super important, because everything you want, really, I can assure you, is on the other side of fear. Okay. Next, number 5, how to identify your feelings of shame and turn them into courage. How to feel. How to feel your feelings. Most of us partake in behaviors that don't serve us: over drinking, overeating, overworking, indulging in drama and relational drama. The list goes on and on. Substance abuses of many kinds, ad nauseum scrolling on Facebook and social media, which this doesn't count. This doesn't count. And we do that because we're generally trying to avoid something. Right? We're generally trying to avoid a feeling that will come up if we don't buffer. If we don't partake in buffering behaviors. So this is critical to overcoming fear, because when we can feel any feeling, when we become willing and confident in our ability to feel any feeling, even if it's super painful in the moment, that feeling will pass, it'll transform, and it will leave behind an absolutely essential insight, and it will leave behind, and in its wake will be confidence, self-trust. When we can feel any feeling, first of all, we heal. Second of all, we become fearless. And that's not to say possessing no fear. That's to say we have the capacity to walk through fear. We fear our fear less. Right? That doesn't stop us. And in fact, it can become our friend. So how to feel your feelings. How to feel your feelings. Next, how to take healthy risks in order to act on your soul's true purpose, right? How to take those big leaps, even if they feel small, right? How to take leaps, how to step into the unknown, how to embrace uncertainty, how to overcome how mind, and instead focus on why mind. This is a really important lesson when it comes to jump-starting creative potential and that feeling of excitement and energy inside of you that might have kind of gone dead for a while. Next, how to fail. Because if you're going to take any leap, if you're going to set any goal that's big, no matter how, if you're going to set any goal that stretches you, and if you're going to make a habit of this, which is going to help you evolve into the fullest person you can become, you're going to fail. You're going to fall on your face. You're going to fail. And that's okay. That's part of the process, right? So how can we learn how to fail, not only gracefully, but maybe even gleefully? How can we learn to make of failure an opportunity? Finally, how to set healthy boundaries and still feel vulnerable and loving. This is something that women I work with all the time have problems with, and I too have struggled with this. But it is so essential to set healthy boundaries, which is not about telling other people how to behave. It's telling other people how we will behave and following through with it. Right? At the heart of setting healthy boundaries is the practice of owning and claiming what you want, which is a lot easier said than done for some people. What do you really want? What do you need to believe about yourself in order to own that without apology? Right? And finally, how to build confidence by setting big goals, staying motivated, and actually seeing those goals through. Wouldn't it be great to end 2018 with these lessons under your belt? And wouldn't it be great to round out 2018 with these lessons in tow? Stepping into the holiday season feeling energized, in control, calm, like you're packing a set of tools. You're packing a set of tools that can help you with anything that comes your way, so that you feel excited, energized, at ease, open-hearted as the holidays come around, rather than overwhelmed, kind of dreading it, or rather overwhelmed, or rather than overwhelmed, crazy, insane, rushed, super crazy busy, caring for everybody else but yourself. Wouldn't it be awesome to feel grounded and calm and excited and expansive in the middle of the holidays this year? Yeah. So I would love to, if this sounds like something you want, and you can make an hour and a half, and you can make time for an hour and a half every Thursday night to come together with this phenomenal group of women, the 5 women who are registered so far, I am super excited about. And we are going to have a blast. This is going to be a super safe space. It's going to be a sanctuary. It's going to be a place where we talk about concrete, real, palpable, lived experience, purpose, sex, money, parenting, aging, you name it, all kinds of stuff that we're all dealing with through the lens of these lessons. So if you are looking to jumpstart your own sense of, if you are to jumpstart your own flourishing, if you want to really learn about what it means to flourish and step into and like engage your life more fully, if you want to do so in group with other wonderful women, and I cannot overemphasize the importance of doing this work in group. There's nothing like it. There's just absolutely nothing like it. If you want to have some time for yourself once a week, nutritive, nourishing, stimulating, energizing, this class is for you. I would love to have you. This class is for you. I would love to have you.